Good evening guys, and welcome to another video. So today's video is a continuation of the video I did yesterday when I was comparing UK and Nigeria. So today I'll be focusing on the advantages of living in Nigeria compared to the UK. And so without wasting time, let's dive right into the video. The reason why I believe Nigeria is better than UK is because in Nigeria you don't have hefty taxes on your income. So what it means is that whatever you are earning, that is what goes right into your pocket. But this is completely different in the UK. In fact, in the UK, the higher you earn, the higher the taxes. Maybe it's a way the government is trying to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. The next point is, if you have money, I would say that Nigeria is the best place to live. Nigeria is a free country, no stress, nothing. Just have money and enjoy yourself, But UK is, like I said in my previous video, UK is not a social environment. It's a boring place. In fact, I've had a lot of people commit suicide out of depression just by living in the UK. There are a lot of things that is involved living in the UK. So if you don't check your mental health in this country, you might just die of depression or something. But in Nigeria, if you have money, there are always places to go all around the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I remember when I was in Nigeria, they would say every day is Christmas in Nigeria. I always have fun. Friends are always around to hang out with. But this is not so in the UK. The UK life is a very stringent life where you go to work, you come back, you sleep, you go to work, you come back. So if you are not careful, this is how your life will be until you turn 60. And the third reason why I believe Nigeria is better than the UK is it is easy to buy a land and build a house in Nigeria compared to the UK. I think it's almost impossible to buy a house outrightly in the UK. The UK system is built on credit, it's built on mortgage. So to be able to buy a house in the UK, you need mortgage. Because a house, maybe for example, 2-bedroom house, could cost you up to £200,000. That's a lot of money. That your annual income cannot even meet 50% of that amount of money. So what does that mean? It means if you want to save up to buy such amount of house, it means you're going to save for a very long time. And don't forget, you have to pay bills as well. So when you look at the net income you are getting after bills have been taken and taxes have been taken, how much is left to buy the house? It's nearly impossible. But in Nigeria, it is easy to buy a land and to build a house. That's the reason why I say if you have money, Nigeria is the best place to be, because you can buy a land easily, you can build a house. It's not that expensive compared to the UK. Because UK, you need to apply for mortgage, and the mortgage is given by the banks and other financial companies, and you have to pay like 5 to 10% of the total cost of the house. They need to vet and make sure that you are qualified by checking your credit scores and other things. After the documentation, then you can buy the house. But Nigeria, we don't have such facilities. You get the money, you build your house, and you get it for a lifetime. In the UK, even if you buy the house, after your old age, the house goes back to the government. You can't give it to your children. That's how the government designed it. If you want to give the house to your children as inheritance, the government will tax that house. It means you'll be paying more than 50% of how much you bought the house. So you see, this is how the system is. So this is the reason why I believe Nigeria is better than the UK. Because in Nigeria, if you buy the house, it's for a lifetime. When you are putting your will, you can transfer it to your children. And that leads me to the next point. You don't need to pay a lot of household bills while living in Nigeria. Compared to the UK, in UK, everything is bills, bills, bills. Immediately you receive your salary, you started paying bills. And you can pay more than 50% of your salary on bills. But in Nigeria, you don't pay all that. In the UK, you pay council tax. In the UK, you pay electricity bill, water bill, TV license. You get a TV license. You get internet and many other things that you need to pay. But in Nigeria, you don't pay water bill. I think what you just pay is electricity bill and gas bill. You see, it is a lot easier to save money in Nigeria compared to the UK. That's why I said if you have a good job and you are living in Nigeria, you will save a lot of money compared to people living in the UK. Another point is, if you can afford a car in Nigeria, it is a lot easier and cheaper to maintain a car in Nigeria than in the UK. Getting a car in the UK is very expensive to maintain compared to Nigeria. In fact, the UK see having a car as a luxury because the government has provided the transportation system and the transportation network to ensure that you don't need a car. So getting a car is optional. So that's why the government put a lot of taxes in maintaining the car. But in Nigeria, this is not so. If you get a car, you don't need to pay a lot. Just make your document and start renewing the document every year. Then you buy petrol in the car and you go for servicing the car maybe 3 months to 6 months. That's all you need, which is different in the UK. UK, you pay taxes, you pay MOT, you pay for insurance every month, and these bills are outrageous, very expensive. So before getting a car, you need to think twice to ensure that the reason you get in the car is worth it. In Nigeria, why I believe Nigeria is better than UK is you have family members around you. Family members you can visit, family members you can call for support, family members that will be there for you in your trying times. Just being around you and all that. You need families, no matter how you say it. But in the UK, you are alone. If you're married, it's just you, your wife and your children. You don't have relatives or families that surround you. You are alone. If you are this person that has strong family ties, it means you will be homesick all the time. Then lastly, marriage and funeral ceremonies are very expensive in the UK compared to Nigeria. Trust me. Getting married in the UK and funeral ceremonies in the UK are extremely expensive. Getting a hall could cost you up to £3,000 to £5,000 even without food. Do you also know that people have to plan for their funerals before they die? Some even have to pay insurance company to cover the cost of the funeral. What does that mean? It means while they are alive, they'll be paying insurance premium subscription so that when they die, the insurance company takes care of everything. Do you know that you have to buy a land, a burial ground for your relative before you bury them, and you only own that land for 100 years? It means after 100 years, that land goes back to the government. So it is expensive getting married here, and it is expensive preparing a funeral ceremony. So with this point that I've highlighted, I believe living in Nigeria is a lot easier and better than living in the UK. So if you look at it, most of the points I highlighted have to do with cost and finance. So you will save a lot of money if you have a good job living in Nigeria compared to living in the UK. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you like my content, don't forget to comment, to follow, to share, and to like.